Hi there folks, thanks for joining us for a Kickstarter preview for Infinities Defiance of Fate. Alright, so this is a new publishing company called Vatal Entertainment Studios, and we're going to be doing a Kickstarter preview here for you. So if you like what you see and you want to back it, you can follow the link below in the show notes, and it'll take you to the Kickstarter link, and then you can have a look at the more detailed game boards and stuff there, because as you can imagine, we're using prototype components. So with me I have Carla, and she's going to be doing the run through with me. Hey Carla.
Hello.
So to begin with, I will explain a couple bit of the overview, and then we'll show you some gameplay so you can see what the game is like. So first things first, we've done the setup here already. Each player will have one avatar leaderboard. This is represented on this map over here with this little pawn token. Alright, so this is your avatar board. So down here is your gambit tokens. These allow you to spend on your gambit abilities, and I'll come back to that later. Up here, you can see, it tells you over there, you can have 4 units in a group up at the top here. So basically it means you can have 4 units in play. And your avatar has a reach of 3 when it comes to the map, which I'll show you in a minute. You have a hand limit of 5, and you can keep 3 cards in your timeline. So everything's explained on the board as such. So this is your attribute track. Every time you play units into your group, they will potentially increase your attribute track. And when you are drafting dice to lock into your abilities for the turn, which I'll explain all in a minute, they'll activate. So to begin with, this is what a unit card looks like. So obviously artwork still to come, as this is just placeholder. But as you can see up at the top left, you've got this little green symbol. And I'll try and show you over there. So you've got a green symbol there with 2 little 0 dots. That over there is the cost of the unit. So I need to spend 1 energy to bring it into play. And when it comes into play, it increases my fortitude by 1. And it has 2 health before it dies. And down here is its ability. So units in this group named Vector, or not named Vector, or immune to enemy abilities. So that's what a unit is like. So when the unit comes into play into the group, it increases one of your attributes, and they basically just buff you up for a bit. So at the beginning of your turn, you roll 5 of these dice. And these dice have different attributes on them. So you've got a wild symbol, which will be 1 of anything. You've got the power symbol, which is how you do damage. You've got the energy symbol, which is how you recruit new units. You've got the fortitude symbol, which allows you to move up on the map, which I'll show you in a minute. And you've also got the gambit symbol, which is how you get more gambit tokens. And this is, it's kind of like a dead token, but allows, if your number 1 ability on your attribute on your energy allows you to change that into energy. So effectively, it's an energy token. Right, so that's just the basics of what your player board is like. So I'll go through a turn order first quickly. So at the beginning of your turn, you take these 5 dice and you roll them. So I'll zoom out a bit. So as you can see, I've rolled the 5 dice there. And then you use any dice manipulation abilities you might have from attributes or cards to do any of these, and then you lock 3 of them in. So for example, let's say I'm going to take the 2 of those and this one. This one, I have an attribute over there. When you take one of those, you change that to an energy. So I've locked in two power symbols and an energy symbol. That is my action roll. So when I roll and lock in dice, and then it goes to my main phase. So effectively I have 3 actions. So I can spend power dice to attack Carla's units, or I can recruit more units with those. Or, as this ability down here is, I can spend any dice to draw 2 cards, or this one tells me what I did over there, or I can spend any dice to get a gambit token. And over there is my gambit abilities, and they generally happen when things are triggered, and I can spend gambit tokens to basically use them. We start with 5 cards in our hand. So, for example, here's some of the cards that I've drawn. And generally the ones with these symbols over here are units. They go into your group. Otherwise, these ones are timeline cards, and they can go into here. You could put anything in your timeline, to be fair. But you can also then transfer units from your timeline to your group, because you can only have 4, and they most likely will die. And how do you win this game, you ask? Well, at the beginning of the game, We all start with 50 life, and the game will last either 5 turns, or if someone reaches 0 on their points track, or 100 on their points track. So if you reach 100, you win. If you reach 0, you lose. Or at the end of 5 turns, the person with the most victory points is the winner. How do you score victory points? It's with these mission cards. So there's a random deck of, let's say, 10 of them. You draw one randomly, and then they will tell you what you can score points for. So we're playing the trenches scenario, and these are linked point scoring methods. So for example, if I play a unit on my turn into my group section, I can get 3 points. And then if I kill any of Carla's units, I can make her lose 7 points. But this is triggered over a round. So for example, I play a unit and don't kill any of hers, and then on her turn, she doesn't play any units, but she kills one of mine, she'll make me lose 7 points. Because this is triggered like that. But if no one plays a unit and we both kill units, then we won't score any points because you need to play a unit first. As you can, they're linked by that line. And the other thing we can do is when we enter a tile that has more than 3 directions to exit, we lose 3 points. But if we spend our last gambit token, we can gain 7 points. And then at the end of each round, we score points for how many active cards we have open. So talking about the map, let's have a quick look at that. So this is the map. This is the Rift token where our avatars have come out of. And then we've got 2 territories that we're expanding on, which is the Genesis Circuit and the Sands of Vara. These are the 2 stacks of territory tiles. And on each of those territory tiles, they have a couple of things that you can look at. So for one, these black borders are non-passable areas. So you can't move through those areas. This is the initiative number of the tile. So that will determine player order and some various cards. That's the name of the area. So this is Port Chillis. And then this is the special ability of the tile. So each of them might have or will have a special ability on. For example, that one is travel. So when I may warp to any city or sacred shrine from this trial. Carla's got the stealth one there, which means she can ignore walls. So she can move through blocked areas. But you can see her tile's numbered at 2, mine's number 4, so it means I've got initiative for this turn. And as we move around, by spending Fortitude, the green dice, we can go to different areas, explore new areas from the tiles, gain abilities from those areas, etc. So there's quite a lot to think about in this game, quite a lot to do. But the game still plays pretty quickly, even though there is a lot going on. As I said, we play 5 rounds, and you go through the turn sequence, rolling your dice, choosing your dice once you've manipulated them, doing your main phase, then it goes to your opponent. If you went first, they do their phase, and then at the end of a round, we score some points based on how many cards we have in play, and then we go to the next round. And that is pretty much that. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off the game. We'll play maybe a round or 2, and then come back and show you a round or 2 so you can see what the gameplay is like, and then finish off the game. So we'll be back with you in a second. Alright, welcome back. We've had a round, and we've done a few bits and pieces. I've lost some points. I'm on currently 44, and Carla is on 56. So she's leading at the moment. We're going to go to round 2 now, so that flips over. I've still got the initiative because I'm on a 4 and she's on a 2. And so that begins my turn. First thing I do is I take 5 dice. Could you pass me 2 more, Carla? And roll them. So these are what I've got at the moment. One of my abilities over there allows me to re-roll as many dice as I want, once per phase if you like. So I might keep that, I might keep that. This will change to a blue, an energy if I need it, and these are gambit tokens. I don't want the gambit tokens, so I'm going to re-roll these 3. Ugh, get all 3 of those. Okay, so I'm going to lock in those 3. Okay, so that'll change to an energy, because that's what my level 1 on energy does. Changes those little circles into energy. And then I'm going to spend 2 of those energy to play Scrap Walker. So it comes into play into my group. It increases my Fortitude by 1. So now I can lock in 1 extra dice in my next round. And it has 3 health on it. So it's 1, 2, 3. And it says I may deal up to X health to this unit to lower the X required for a block check. But I'm not going to bother with that. Well, at least not now. And then I got 1 fortitude to spend. I could use that to draw 2 cards with my level 1 power ability. But instead, I will actually do some traveling, I think. So I'm going to go over there. I'm going to take a tile from the Sands of Vara. I'll flip it over. And now it's got a black wall over there, so I can't legally attach it to where I can't move to. So I'm going to attach it like that. I have a range of 3, so I can still attack Carla like that. But now I've jumped onto initiative 1. And that has an oasis on it. So at the start of my start phase, I may gain 1 gambit token. So that's not terrible. And that's my fortitude spent. You can move up to 2 spaces, obviously, but I've explored there. So that is the end of my round. So I didn't do a lot. I spent my 3 actions. 2 of them was to recruit the Scrap Walker, who's a nice big beefy guy. And 1 was to move around on the map. So now let's go to Carla. What are you going to do? You're going to roll some dice?
Yeah. Could you just remind me what the graveyard does?
The graveyard?
Yeah. The ability.
Oh, the shrine. So the shrine, at the start of your turn, so now after you rolled your dice, you can change one of them to a wild symbol and lock it in. Or in fact, you don't even have to you could just take one of them now and lock it in as a roll, as a
Which
wild.
it is better to look at what I get first.
Yeah, maybe.
So I can lock that in as a wild.
Yeah. And then you still only get 2 more on top of that. So it's not like an extra dice, but it just means you guaranteed a wild. As you can
no
see.
re-rolls, is there? Not yet.
No. But your red one...
okay, so this one, and I'm going to use my blue ability over here to change that into an energy.
Oh, actually, sorry, just before you carry on, Carla, I did forget something. I played a unit this turn, so in the trenches thing, when you play a unit, you get 3 points. Can't forget that. 1, 2, 3. But I didn't do anything else. I didn't kill any of hers. I entered a tile that has exactly 3 exits. So, carry on.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm going to use that as energy.
Yep.
So I've got 2 energy.
Yep.
To play the Blade Scale Savage. So this one has an ability. Well, 2. One's got a prepare, which would normally be over here in the timeline, which is spend 2 of any dice to destroy a card. But as Jason has kind of made my timeline moot with this remote exoskeleton, which essentially makes any abilities in this timeline null and void, I'm going to ignore that.
But it's a point for you every turn.
Yeah, no.
So first thing you got to increase your your power level by 1.
Yeah, okay, but let me just finish reading the card. When this unit reaches a 0, it'll deal 2 wounds to a group in reach. So that's its ability. So it then has 3 health. And because it's got the little power symbol, it moves that up, which basically unlocks the ability to essentially lock down an additional dice.
So you get 4 actions a turn now.
4 actions a turn, yeah.
From next turn. From
next turn onwards. So that is those 2 spent, and then I've got that one which allows me to pick a tile, which I like to stick to the Sands of Vara. Interesting. I think I've got Ayla's Sanctuary.
It's an oasis as well.
What does an oasis do again?
At the start of your turn, you can gain a gambit token.
Okay, so that's next turn. And that's my 3 moves done. I recruited a character, so that gives me 1, 2, 3. but I didn't deal any damage, which doesn't
and the
satisfy
tile
the second
the
half.
tile you moved to as well only has 3 exits. No, 1, 2, 3. Actually,
It has
it's
to be
4.
greater than.
Yeah, so it's got 4 exits.
But again,
1, 2, 3, 4.
it's got 4.
Yeah. So that means.
So technically speaking, I could then activate one of their abilities. So I can activate his, spend one of these to discard one from any leader's hand. That'll be you.
Discard 1 card, I take it.
If you are, actually, if you're within reach, which you are, discard 2.
Okay. So, just to go through the thing again, so what colours we're doing now is she's entered a tile which has more than 3 exits or directions. So she loses 3 points for that. But if either of us now spend our last 2 or last gambits this turn, then we can gain 7 points.
Okay. So because a card has entered, it says after a card is placed on a discard pile, which Jason has just done, I can spend another gambit token to heal. Oh, I don't have anything to heal. Okay, well, in fact, I will then just change it. One of my other abilities is spend a gambit, draw 1 from my discard pile, and 2 from a discard pile of an enemy in reach.
Which is the 2 I just discarded.
So I can only have 1 of these. So, because that's my hand limit.
5. You can never exceed your hand limit. So, effectively what she's done, she's lost 3 points, but gained 7. So she just gains 4 points, effectively.
Okay, so...
Now, ironically, I have a gambit ability that I can spend 2 gambit tokens to destroy one of my opponent's cards if she triggers a tile event. But of course, her tile event only triggers at the beginning of her turn, so she hasn't done it. So I can't do that. But if I did, I would have spent my last 2 gambit tokens, as you can see over there. So I could have used my ability over there. Not that you can read that. But it says, after a leader activates a tile's triggered event, I can spend 2 gambit tokens to destroy one of their cards. Which would have been lots of points. It would have been 7 points for me, because I would have spent my last gambit tokens. And I would have destroyed one of her cards, which means she would have lost 7 points. So it would be a 14-point swing. Unfortunately, that didn't pan out for me. Alright, and that is the end of the round phase. So what happens now is we score points for cards we have in play. I've got 2 cards in play, so I score 2 points.
And you've got 4 cards in play, so I score 4 points.
Yeah, so that puts me on 49 and you on 67. And that is a round. So what happens now is this goes to round 3. I do realize actually we've done one thing wrong in that turn, but it's not a major thing. I'm only initiative 1, Carla's initiative 3. So technically, well, not technically, what should have happened was initiative is the other way around. So Carla should be going first, not me. Which is used to me always having the higher initiative.
Last game, I don't think I ever took the initiative, not once.
Alright, so it's your go. Roll 5 dice.
I just went.
Yeah, but it's you.
Oh, right,
yeah.
I see.
You should have gone first in the last round.
Right, so 2, 4, 5. Okay.
And you can lock in 4 dice now.
I can lock in 4 dice.
And you're starting your turn on Oasis, so you can lock in one as a wild. Not that you have enough choices of wilds.
Well, I've got a wild anyway, so might
as well take the other wild.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so one thing she's triggered you. The 2 wilds don't trigger anything, because they even though they count as all the abilities of the other stuff, they don't trigger the attributes. But the 2 power symbols do trigger her 2nd tier ability, which is when you lock in a power symbol, you get to draw a card. So she gets to draw 2 cards there. That is pretty sweet. I still not unlocked that yet. There's all my cards I've drawn has the fortitude symbol on.
Okay, so I think I'm going to play Sun Lizard Brood. I'm going to use this as an energy.
Yep.
To play the Sun Lizard Brood.
Okay.
And it's got an ability called Fated. enemy units in reach with wounds below their printed amount will lose their attributes. So if I deal any damage to those, it will have a knock-on effect.
The fated basically means it can't be counted.
Okay, so that's them out in play.
Alright, so before you carry on with us, you want to finish?
This is them out in play.
Because there's a lot of things that trigger now.
So essentially that's its wound coming into play now.
And then your power level goes up.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, so power level goes up, which then allows me...
Does
that happen immediately?
Yeah, which now moves your energy and fortitude up one.
So energy and fortitude goes up.
And then you
I gain
unit.
3,
yeah.
So...
From the trenches card, she played a unit, which is plus 3 points.
Was I on 67 before?
76, I think, weren't you? I did say, but now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you were...
because I was on... According to this, I'm pretty sure I was on 67.
Okay.
Because I lost 3 and gained 7.
So now you're on 71 or 70.
Yeah, well, it's close enough. Okay, so I've gained the points for that. Is that it?
That was just your power. That's
yeah,
just
that's
one,
just the one. The one energy. The second one I'm going to do, I'm going to use as a... I've forgotten what the green symbol is.
Fortitude.
Fortitude. Fine.
This allows you to move on the map.
So I'm going to move on the map to Bejeweled Springs.
It's another oasis.
Where shall I? Yeah.
So this only has 2 exit tiles on. No, 3. But one goes into a wall. So that doesn't count. So only 2 exit tiles. So you don't trigger the second scoring section.
Okay.
But it is initiative 4 again.
So that happens. I don't have to do anything for that, do I? That triggers that though, doesn't it?
No, because you need to be more than 4.
Oh, yes, okay. That's right. Okay, so that doesn't trigger. That's fine. That would be the third one I activate, which is an attack.
Yeah.
And
so just to be clear, the power symbol, you have to be within range 3, so you have to be able to draw a line. So it's 1, 2, 3. So she's good. But like, let's say she was over here and she had to go 1, 2, 3. She would not be in range because walls block off areas.
So I'm going to attack, and I am literally just going to hit him for 1.
Okay, which reduces him. Just so, but hit my unit, it protects that one from abilities, but you can still shoot him.
But now he doesn't, thanks to my sun lizards.
What about it?
It null and voids his abilities.
All right.
And I don't know what your other guy does, but I'm gonna... Oh, I wonder. Actually, no, I'm gonna have to kill him, aren't I? So I'll kill the Vector Engineer.
Okay.
With the second attack as well.
Which destroys one of my cards, which means I
lose
7 points. Ouch.
Okay. I think that is all of my abilities done.
All right.
I think that's that.
So then it goes to me. I've still only got 5 dice. But I can re-roll dice if I need. What am I really looking for? I've got no cards in hand, so I really need to draw some cards. Well, I got 1 card in hand. I might as well, for what it's worth, use this as a re-roll. Gambit. Right, so I'm going to lock in those 3. And I don't have the ability to draw cards when I lock in power yet, but I am going to use one of them to draw 2 cards with my level 1 ability. Oh, for goodness sakes. I'm going to spend this 1 energy. No, I just realized you can't really see that, so I'm going to modify the camera a bit. So I spent 1 power to draw 2 cards. One of these cards is a transmission drone. So it costs 1 to play. I spent my 1 energy. When it comes into play, it increases my fortitude by 1, which in turn increases both of these by 1. Wicked. And it's got 2 health. And then, should I risk it? One of the things you can do as an attack card as well, you might have noticed Carla's got a couple of hefty 3s over there. It's pointed at the camera. And then a couple of 1s. So I have played a unit now, which means I get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Now, if I kill one of her units, she'll lose 7 points. So I could do the easy thing and just kill the lizard or the fire thing with my 1 pokey stick. But I'm going to try just to show you guys as well. You can do what they call a destroy effect, where you can pass a skill check. The way you pass a skill check is you using the attribute of your choice. So, for example, I'm using a power symbol here. So I've got level 2 power. So I'll take 2 dice. I'm choosing this big one on the end here, Carla. So it's got 3 health. So normally I wouldn't be able to kill it. But I'm going to take a skill check now. I'm going to roll 2 dice because I got a level 2. If I get any power symbols on here, I immediately kill it. But if I don't get any power symbols and wilds don't count, I just fluff it. And I fluffed it. So I didn't do anything. But just for interest's sake, if I rolled that, I would have killed the lizard completely outright. So it's a way of taking out big creatures without having to, you know, go through the pokey every turn. And I think that's pretty much me done. I didn't get a lot done that turn. So that's end of the round. We'll score points now for cards in play. So I got 2 points because I got 2 cards. Carla's got 5, so she gets 5 points. And that puts me at 47. So I'm 3 less than what I started with. And Carla's on 75. So she's doing well here. Going into turn 4, she needs 25 points to win the game, or reduce me by 47, or just keep in the lead for 2 more turns. But you've seen how the game plays now. It plays pretty much the same for the next 2 rounds. We'll keep doing this, and the turns go pretty quickly, so the game will be over in no time. 2 rounds each. And that's that. So we'll finish off the game and come back to you in a second.
Oh, is this my hand?
Alrighty, so we finished off the game, and Carla has thrashed me. She has won. I've got 53 points, and she's got 86. She didn't quite reach the 100. I managed to slow her down on that last turn. But nonetheless, at the end of round 5, she's got the most points, so she is the winner. Well done, babe. Alright, so that is Infinities Defiance of Fate. There's a few things I can mention. What you saw now was the skirmish version, where 2 players or more, this can play up to 4 players, literally just have a pound against each other, you know, trying to score the most points and complete the objectives. But they also have an adventure guide or campaign sort of mission as well, where you can play it differently. And obviously these are all prototype components, so these will all change during the Kickstarter. Talking about the Kickstarter, this is February the 20th, 2018. This will go live on Kickstarter, and I'll have a link in the description below when that goes live, and you can just follow the link and go support a new designer, a new company, if you like what you see. And I'm sure they will really appreciate your support. What else can I say? They have a Facebook page, and Stephen Berry, I think it is, who is very active on there as well. So you can go talk to him about the game. I'm sure he'll love to answer any questions. Obviously, I've given you a rough guide here of what it's like. So thanks for watching, and speak to you guys later.